When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. What's up, guys? Sean here. So I have a Reddit user commenting on an observation, a Mandela effect, a map change for them. Definitely a map change for me with similar logic. I put out a video back in 2015 about this very thing. Reddit user Moon and Acre writes, prehistoric human migrations from Russia to Alaska. I remember in primary or middle school first learning about prehistoric migrations of the human species. I distinctly remember they reached the Americas through a thin and long corridor that once connected Russia and Alaska, which later disappeared through tectonic movements. I remember being, I believe it was the Ice Age and the seas, the Ice Age and the ice melting. But anyway, that's besides the point. I remember being particularly amazed when learning this because Alaska and Russia were further apart than it is now. I remember the exact picture of the map on the page, which displayed the thin line of land because North America and Russia were, of course, shifted as opposed to the usual maps. The corridor probably had a name. I haven't searched in depth, but the maps you can find today of human prehistoric migrations display Alaska and Russia being strongly tied together by this thick land and still closer than I remember. I plan to find my old school book to check if the picture is in there is familiar. I also remember a lot of other geographical differences, but I wanted to see if this particular aspect resonated with anyone. Absolutely. See, when I was in grade school and middle school, I also learned about the migration from Asia over into North America through a land bridge that from Alaska or from Siberia to Alaska, Russia to Alaska, and that was due to the Ice Age, and there was basically a land bridge. Now, don't get me wrong, because there's a lot of weird changes, and perhaps I haven't specifically gone back and re-studied that. So perhaps tectonic plates are shifting around, and this timeline is applicable to why it's not the same. But anyway, the point is, I agree completely about the distance. And in the video I did in 2015, it was one of my very first Mandela Effect map videos. And it had to do with the fact that there's only 50 miles in between Russia and Alaska. 50 miles. There's an island in the middle, about halfway point, so there's only 25 miles to that island. So, and what I said back then was that if they're that close, why would it be so significant that this land bridge would have been needed for human beings to travel over to the other continent? There would have been other means. It's so close. And if you haven't looked at this in a while, particularly if you're Mandela Effect sensitive, look at how amazingly, ridiculously close Alaska and Russia are to one another. Approximately 50 miles. It was way more than that for me, based on what I observed in school back in the day. There was a much greater distance between the two areas, the two land masses. So that is, one more thing though, there was a question on here, bear with me for a second. Maybe not, sorry, this is just mumble jumble. Most of you have probably clicked off by now. Yes, so this Reddit user was talking about, he's gonna go check an older, like a textbook looking at the map. You've shifted into a different physical reality. The entire planet is different. There is not going to be, the map that you're going to look at is based on this current timeline that you physically exist in now. So everything is going to be reflecting this new reality. You're not going to find a map that has the old one unless someone wrote the map out of memory. We have plenty of examples of the residue. But if it was an official textbook, it's going to show the official, this current timeline, and yes, they're going to be super close together. So that is a Mandela Effect map change. And I wanted to touch base with you on that. I love you guys. Do something kind for a stranger. Make the world a better place. I love you, and I'll see you again.